how's the preparation and as you head into first actual competition in the game?
Yeah, look, it's a reduced pre-season for us as far as length of time, with the season being brought forward like a week with Hoop Fest, but players will be happy that we get to play 8 pre-season games and hit the ground running here pretty quick. And I'm looking forward to seeing where we're really at after, a good 14 practices.
So what will fans expect to see tomorrow in terms of everyone's availability? Will the whole squad play, or are you going to sit some guys out at different points?
Yeah, I'll play everyone. Probably right where I sit today with how we want to treat pre-seasons to give the young guys as much opportunity as possible. So once we get into the season, we have a good understanding of where they're at, but then the veterans to make sure they're in a good rhythm come September 20th.
So you start with your starters, or you start with your kids and give those starters a little bit of opportunity?
Start with the starters and we'll go from there.
Yep.
Do you have a fairly clear idea of what your starting 5 will look like come Hoops Fest, or is that what this 8 games will look like?
Look, we're very lucky that our starting 5 that finished the season, and all the analytics guys tell me they were the best analytical 5 on the floor in the NBL last year, so I'll roll with that until we need to make adjustments.
Where are you at on a third import, and when do you expect that might be filled?
Yeah, look, we're trying to. I would like to have someone yesterday, but we also want to make sure we find the right piece, and I think the way we handled Doolittle's spot last year really shows that if you find the right guy at the right time, you can implement someone pretty quickly into your system if they're about the right things, and that's what we need to find, is the right piece with so many returners from last year's roster.
Is there a window coming up where you're expecting guys to be released for somewhere around the world where you'll be looking at a specific catchment of guys?
We're in a stage of world basketball where guys become available at this time of the year. Europe windows tightening up like ours is, NBA windows, reality's hitting some of those players, so they have to make a decision for their careers. So you would say daily new names come across the desk.
And when you say that the analytics tell you that your starting 5 last year was so good, so are you not looking for a starter? Are you looking for a bench third import? I would have thought most people would think you were looking for a starter from.
Yes, but we can only play the deck that we got in front of us, and right now, fortunate enough, we got the 5 guys that started for us last year. We're comfortable with that, but we're striving for a championship, so we want to make our team better, but we also have to make sure we find the right piece, because Jordan Usher was a great piece for us last year, just not on the court, but as far as a dynamic off-court piece for our group. He brought a lot to our team.
14 practices, you said, in a game tomorrow. How are you seeing the new pieces fit with the old pieces?
Yeah, the way I've tackled the last couple of years is we always bring in the young guys a couple of weeks before the vets. So the likes of Elijah Pepe, Etan, and then the returning younger members, they've been going at it for a good while, and you can see their off-season, whether it's been NBL, NZNBL, there's progress being made.
Talk to us about Etan and Elijah, given that the fans won't have seen them yet. What will they expect to be seeing from them over the pre-season as you build in?
Yeah, Etan, what I would say is he's polished in who he is as a player. He understands what he brings, rebounding, for a big, in basketball terminology, playing short roll basketball when he's in pick and roll situations with our guards. He has a high level of understanding about that, and his ability, his athleticism to get in and out of places offensively and then defensively. Similar to Alex in that he brings switchability because he can move his feet really well. Obviously not as tall or necessarily athletic as Alex, but he brings some of those features that Alex now, by no means, we do not look at this guy like he's Alex Sarr, because they're their own player in their own right, and he'll be a very good piece for our team.
And Elijah?
Elijah Pepper, yeah, look, he's a scorer, first, second and third, and that's why we brought him to the team. So when other teams scheme against us and want to put 2 on Bryce, we have a little bit more potency from the perimeter to really attack that aggressively with the 3-point shot.
And every time Bryce comes back from a pre-season, he's always added something to his kit bag. Have you? I'm not sure you're not going to tell us what it is, but have you seen him go away for a couple of months and come back now and have spent time working on something different?
I'll be able to answer that question probably a little better tomorrow after the game. But look, your question, you answer it yourself in the fact that he goes away and he really does want to add something to that, how he can become more efficient. He knows what our roster is this year. Him and Hiram Harris have a terrific connection, like him and Jesse. So just tightening up some of that, as well as promoting some transition threes.
Are you in a better position now than at the same time last year in that, like you said, your starting five is returned, so that they've got that chemistry already? You're not trying to build chemistry 3 weeks out from the season?
Yeah, and you've been around our group enough. There's a great connection amongst them off the floor, which allows that to build on the floor. Doolittle comes in a lot more comfortable with the overall situation. Like, we didn't even know about Christian Doolittle this time last year, and he's a very important piece for our team and our success. So not worrying about that. Keanu Pinder returning to Perth, and the expectation of a franchise that comes with the Wildcats. And Ty Webster, you saw his growth last year. And then Hiram. I can keep going down the list, but they appreciate each other for who they are, and then they understand their strengths and weaknesses and how they can cover up for each other.
Very good. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.